Alright, so I thought since I haven't done these in a while, one of these in a while, I decided to do two. And yeah, this is another segment of How Would You Write It? And this one's going to be a little interesting. Kind of a fusion like the Alice in Wonderland was beforehand, but this one is going to be a little more, I guess you could say, direct in a way, possibly. So this one is, if you could write a story where the Venom symbiote bonds to somebody else, what would that story be like, and what would their reactions be of being part of the Venom symbiote? So, as always, I'm going to talk about what I would write in this kind of situation of the if the Venom symbiote attached itself to somebody, left. Basically left Flash Thompson, or never even met Flash Thompson or Eddie Brock or any of those. Could be an even alternate universe story. So, the idea I had, basically, here's like one of the few ideas I would go with if I could do the whole new symbiote, new host for the Venom symbiote. So here's the idea. The idea is that I would set this in the Legend of Korra Avatar universe. And what I would basically do is, remember when that meteor crashed in the, the episode Sokka's Master? What I would do is that in that meteorite, the Venom symbiote was in there. It leaks out, crawls away, and basically goes throughout the Fire Nation, possessing possessing people, and using them for a short time, but it's still just not satisfied with any host. Whoever it bonds to, it just cannot find the right host for itself. So, what does it do? It basically eventually finds its way to Sokka, who it decides is a worthy candidate for being being its host, being its host. So at first Sokka's like, oh, this is so cool, I have powers now. I don't need weapons, I can just, go out and fight. I can do all this cool stuff, and, I can climb on walls, I've got superhuman strength, I've got all this crazy shit. But he's starting to quickly realize that, with all that great power comes, well, not so much a responsibility, but more like, yeah, he's now got to keep himself under control, because, as we all know, that symbiote just can increase aggression and whatnot. So the more Sokka starts using that symbiote, the more aggressive he's becoming, the more violent, and the symbiote's kind of just latching on. And Katara, Aang, and the others like, look, you've got to stop. All right, you have got to get rid of that thing before you hurt somebody. And the Venom symbiote at this point is like, nope, we're staying together. Him and I are this suit and I are staying together until, we might even need Aang. I can just go to the Fire Nation and go straight to the Fire Lord and kill him with this thing. And, yeah, that's when Sokka learns the hard way that one of the two weaknesses for the symbiote is fire, as we all know. Yep. So, living in a place called the Fire Nation is going to be a problem for him and the symbiote. So, Sokka, in a brutal rage, goes out, one night, leaving everyone else behind while they're sleeping, to find a way to hunt down the Fire Lord and eat his brains. However, he is captured by a group of firebenders, and they manage to subdue him and the symbiote. The symbiote then leaves Sokka, and they manage to capture him and the symbiote. The symbiote leaves. It tries to take over one of the firebenders. It can't, because the guy starts burning him, and the symbiote just crawls away, and finds its way to the next host, leaving everyone, Aang and the others, to go rescue Sokka, while the symbiote goes out to find another host, who it finds in May. It crawls its way all the way to the Fire Nation, weak. It's been, again, possessing non-bending hosts. And because it doesn't feel, because the thing is that the symbiote, I would have that the symbiote, whenever it tries to take over a bending host, it can't, because it can't, the person's bending is actually kind of giving him, like, the symbiote an adverse effect that makes them kind of like, well, I can't touch you. It's like, kind of like, the symbiote just can't latch on to someone who can bend, especially a firebender. So I would have it that the symbiote has to attach itself to non-benders. And if this was in the Legend of Korra universe, it would probably find its way to Asami. Anyway, so that's kind of the story I had in mind. So you guys tell me, if you could write a story where the symbiote took over somebody else from any other show or cartoon or whatever, or anime or whatever, who would it be? Who would get the symbiote, and how would the story play out? Really curious to see how you guys what you guys do with this one. Anyway, once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.